What's going on in Health Fam? Nick and Jiordana here with another episode, giving you the best information possible when it comes to your health and wellness. And this week's topic is aging and why we get old, because that's kind of a weird thing to think about. So one kind of quote I actually saw on the internet was, age should come with wisdom, not wrinkles and joint pain. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about why we age and why we get wrinkles and joint pain as we get older.
That's a really good question. So when we talk about aging, there are many different kinds of theories. So I'll kind of highlight some of my favorite ones and then talk about like what they are and then what we can do. So one of them is called the telomere theory. So telomeres are just a part of the chromosome. It's actually something that protects the chromosome in every single one of our cells. And a chromosome is where we hold our DNA. So telomeres are actually made out of proteins, and so are the chromosomes. So the theory is that as we get older, we are unable to assimilate proteins as well as we did when we were younger. Mm-hmm. So that affects the way that our DNA, and it might mutate our DNA. And then we develop signs of aging, like wrinkles and oxidative stress and, baggy things under the eyes. And all
that bad stuff.
Exactly, yeah. So one of the great things that we can do with that is we can really make sure that we pay attention to our digestion, because as we get older, our digestion definitely gets weaker. Mm-hmm. And if we can't absorb the proteins from our digestive system, then we can't assimilate them properly. So that's the telomere theory. And then there's another theory called, it's a hormonal theory. So as we all know, that when we get older, our hormones change quite significantly, specifically for women, but also just for everybody. Part of that comes down to, again, digestion, not being able to absorb the fats that you need as the precursor for hormones. And then another part of that is just the way that our bodies age, especially for women. The ovaries stop creating hormones. So estrogen is a protective hormone for women. And it actually, once we stop producing as much estrogen, we start to notice things happen in our body. So for example, women start to gain weight mostly in their abdomen section because the estrogen is not protecting them anymore. So they start to gain weight in areas where men typically gain weight. And another thing is with bone density. So when women pass menopause, we're at serious risk for osteopenia and osteoporosis. And that comes down to the hormonal factors of not having the right hormones to stimulate bone growth, as well as the body actually pulling minerals from the bones and making them more porous. And then the final theory is the free radical theory, or oxidative stress. So we've talked about oxidation so many times, but essentially oxidation is something that's going to happen regardless. So the only thing that we can do is try and combat that with taking antioxidants. So what oxidation even is we're exposed to over 700,000 chemicals.
Talked about this before.
Yeah, we talked about over 700,000 chemicals in our environment.
Not to scare you, but.
Yeah, not to scare you. And that's kind of on the low end.
Yes.
Not to mention in all of our beauty products, our shampoo, conditioner, the water that we drink, the food that we eat, it's literally everywhere.
The air you breathe.
Exactly. And so when our body breaks these things down, it makes them into molecules and elements. And what happens is we to keep it stable, we need to donate and accept electrons. So what oxidation is, it's these unstable molecules in our body that create oxidative stress. So what they can do is they can actually nick the arterial wall in all of your arteries and then create atherosclerosis, or they can promote wrinkles or any of the aging processes. They can also make you weak and tired and create sunspots on the skin. So what we want to do is we want to combat that with making sure that we are taking enough antioxidants.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And for the wrinkly skin part, sunscreen definitely doesn't hurt either when you're outside.
For outside.
I'm personally wearing some right now.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the joint health stuff, I know as a personal trainer with my experiences there, one of the big things we tell people is resistance training.
Yes.
For joint health. It's as simple as the muscles hold the joints together. So if they stop working, it's not the most ideal situation to be in. And as well as for the bone density part as well, it plays a huge factor in bone density for both men and women, but especially important for women, as Jiordana mentioned. It's going to literally, the muscles will be tugging on the bone, causing stress on the bone to develop further bone growth, so you have denser bones. It's kind of a simple process or idea there. Obviously it gets more complicated with different people, but that's sort of a generalized kind of view towards it.
Yeah, because the way that the bone works is the bone actually has to break down in order for the body to create the hormones to make it grow again, to build it back up. So it's a catabolic and an anabolic reaction. So when you do resistance training, you're forcing the bone to break down so that you can actually rebuild it back up and create a stronger bone.
Absolutely. And cardio doesn't hurt for heart health.
Of course.
Capacity.
Yeah, so that aerobic activity is going to circulate blood flow around the body, and in blood is all of our nutrients. So you're going to be feeding every cell of your body, your brain all the way down right to the big toe.
Definitely. So I know you mentioned antioxidants or oxidization as like a very large factor in all of this. So what can we do from like a supplementation perspective?
Yeah, for sure. So like through nutrition, you could pretty much, you could do a lot with nutrition. And so you want to eat the rainbow when we come to antioxidants, and literally because there are like...
mean Skittles, by the way.
I do not mean Skittles. That is a good point. So yeah, because in all of the different colors of the vegetables, there are a lot of like phytonutrients, and those act as antioxidants within the body. So they're going to help to protect. Now, as we get older, like I said, our digestion does get weaker. So if you're unable to even pull the antioxidants that you get from food, I really would recommend that you take a really good antioxidant supplement. So this is one of my favorites. It's like a daily multivitamin, or it's multi-antioxidant. It's called Antioxidant 7, and it has all of the antioxidants that your body needs to actually protect from oxidative stress. And when we talk about oxidation too, we're even talking about, you know, our eyes getting weaker. So as you get older, people need to wear glasses more. Like that actually is completely preventable if we give the body the tools that it needs to like protect from oxidative stress.
Definitely.
So an antioxidant is a really good way to do that.
Definitely. Is with eye health and stuff like that, am I not mistaken, but like screen time and stuff like that can have an effect on like oxidative stress on the eyes?
Absolutely. So that blue light is highly, highly oxidative, and it creates, it actually promotes increased cortisol, which again is going to create oxidative stress. So, and also if you're eating, like you said, the Skittles, so things like sugar, alcohol, tobacco, any of the processed foods, those are also going to create oxidation as well. So if you can't get all the nutrients from food, you're going to want to take an antioxidant supplement.
Definitely. And then the wrinkles part, because I know for a lot of people, this is probably what they care about first. I mean, it's a little more forward in terms of what people see.
It's definitely like literally right on your face. So I get a lot of questions about wrinkles and anti-aging, and I think that the wrinkles are important to know because they're an aesthetic thing. They're things that we are going to care about. Now they are just a sign that there's something going on deeper in the body, of course, right? So one of the supplements that I find really helpful is the collagen. So I picked the marine collagen mainly because with the marine collagen, you're kind of avoiding some of the like potential health risks with any of the like animal-based, with any of the meat-based collagen.
Yes.
And marine also, they have a lot of really healthy anti-inflammatory properties. So I really do like the marine one. It's my preference. Now, collagen is not just good for the wrinkles. It's actually really good because collagen is protein-based, right? So it's also going to give you the proteins that you need to produce telomeres and protect the chromosome.
That's really cool. I didn't know that was a part of collagen. That's actually amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, it's actually going to help with digestion as well, because it's going to help to line the digestive tract to keep the intestinal lining semi-permeable, so that you're able to so that toxins don't actually go through.
But the good stuff does still.
So that the toxins don't go through, but your body's able to absorb the good stuff.
That's pretty wild. I just knew collagen was good for hair. I didn't know it had like that much going on for it.
Yeah, so collagen will help with like many of the different theories. And then the final one would be the omega 1200. So
running theme.
Yeah, for sure. Omegas are like so important. And this one's going to help specifically with the hormonal theory as well as the others. To give all hormones are made out of fat, right? So that's the base of all hormones. So if we don't have the right types of fats, as we get older, our body becomes highly inflammatory, mainly because of all of the oxidative stress. So the omegas are going to help to combat that inflammation and give the body the tools that it needs to produce the hormones that you need to actually keep you healthy.
Would that in theory also help with any kind of like memory or brain protection potentially as well?
Yeah, so oxidation also happens in the brain, and this is why when we get older, our memory becomes a little bit weaker. So the omegas it's specifically the DHA in the omegas is going to help with brain growth, or like to protect the nerves in the brain, as well as repairing any of the brain damage.
Wow, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So I took away a lot from this personally. So it sounds like exercise, nutrition, and kind of like what you interact with on a day-to-day basis in terms of like outside stimulus seems to be a pretty big factor. So reduce your screen time, use glasses with filters, or potentially put some filters on your screens as well at your computers and phones. Otherwise, keep living a healthy life, and we'll see you guys next week.